Hello all, this is Dr. Dave Ramsey talking about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3. So in this particular video, I really wanted to tell you and help you out with how to actually market your writing online in 2018. Maybe this will be 2019 if you're watching this and beyond. So really what I'm trying to do is help you out as much as I possibly can. I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, and this is a problem that a lot of people have. So whether you're an academic writer, whether you're kind of getting into the mode of writing, you're trying to think about like, how do you actually market my writing? How do I actually get and jump into this kind of stuff? So what I want to do is actually tell you how to do this and how to do this so you're going to be successful, because there's lots of kind of get rich quick schemes out there that are not going to be nearly as much, or is not going to be really as effective as other things out there that you could possibly do, which I'm going to suggest what that is right now, right? So jump into, so what do I mean? Actually, first of all, what do I mean by marketing your writing? So what I'm talking about is actually creating something that's profitable in the long term. So I'm not talking about something that's going to be really profitable immediately, but something that is going to sort of matter to you and actually create some sort of long-term income for you. Because you can create a book and you can sell 10 copies of that particular thing off of Amazon. It's not going to make you a lot of money from doing that. So you have to look at how to actually build something that's going to be a livable lifestyle that you can actually possibly do. And there is the way that I'm going to suggest. It's going to be really painful, but it's also going to be very, very sustainable in the long run, and it's going to help you in the long run. So this is the trick, is actually building your audience before you actually go and write anything. Write your particular book, whatever it is that you're doing and thinking about, is to build an online audience before you actually jump in and write that book and sell that to them. Because you're going to invest a lot of time into writing that particular book. So you have to build that audience before you can actually sell it. So what you can actually do is pre-sales and stuff like that. You can sort of allude to people that, oh, I'm really, building a book. And I'm writing a book, and then once that happens, you could sell it to them and actually become profitable, and you continue to do that. There's a lot of different people that do this kind of model, and it's highly, highly successful. The one is Dave Ramsey, that if you sort of follow the self-help sort of personal finance stuff, he has done this amazingly well. And what you have to do is actually build an audience. So how do you actually build an audience online? And why do you actually want to build an audience online? Well, you want to build an audience online so you can actually, you can get the word out on what you're doing. So a lot of times with sort of publishing and self-publishing, the way that you sort of move up in the rankings, you have to sell X number of books within, a couple of weeks. And if you don't do that, if you don't hit those targets, whatever it is, maybe it's 1,000, 2,000 books, then you're not going to be sort of promoted again and again throughout the algorithms or the book publishing companies or whatever it is that you're trying to do. So what you want to do is be able to reach those targets early on, such that it'll keep targeting and keep sort of moving up in the rankings time and time again, and it's going to sort of help you out in the long run. And so what you have to do is build this audience. And how do you do that is actually put out a tremendous amount of content for over a very, very long time, and be very consistent with that, with building the audience with what you're trying to do. So that means maybe you create a blog, a WordPress blog or something like that. Maybe you do the YouTube videos. You can see what I'm doing. I'm putting out tons of videos trying to promote this website, which I should have done in the first place before I actually created Reciprocity. That was a total mistake. So what I should have done is actually build an audience first, because nobody knows who the heck I am. I'm a professor at a large university, but nobody else knows who that is. So I got to get out there and actually put some of this stuff out to help out and create this sort of a larger audience where people are interested. And you could see how long it takes. You could look at some of my older videos where I put out every single week or every single month. I'll put out, how many videos I'm actually getting. So I actually did a quick calculation the other day. I'm getting now, the traffic I'm getting within a month on these YouTube videos, it's about... So for the entire year previously, I'm hitting about 30% of that in 1 month now that I put this out. So it sort of builds over time. You can watch, I have a really old video at the very beginning where I was talking about sort of compound interest with YouTube videos. So this is exactly what's going on right now. And it's the same thing that happens with a WordPress blog, is you get compound interest over time, and people start reading and interlocking with the different posts, and it starts growing over time. And the search engines start picking up on that authority. And so you get all of these kind of things. And so once you actually get to the point where you have so much content that people are like, wow, this person is a total authority. I'm going to start sort of following along. And then what you need to do once you have people starting to follow along with the thing that you're doing is you have to get probably about 100 touch points. So they have to follow along for about 100 times. So if you look at what Dave Ramsey does, he'll have hundreds of videos, and by the time hundreds of videos, as well as sort of going on the radio stations and stuff. And as people sort of follow along and they get these 100 different touch points, they start getting really excited. They start following along, and they feel that they got so much out of it, then they're just really happy to buy that book for $9.99. And really, at that point, they're just like, I'll just buy it, right? I've gotten so much from that, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to help this person out. And that's really what happens, is you have to get to the point where somebody is just a raving fan of what you're trying to do before you actually get to the point where you can actually sell to somebody. Because you just don't want to you don't want to be that sleazy person where you're just selling something and it pops up and you have this sort of interruptive marketing thing where you're just selling a commercial and then you click on something and you go through their funnel that they have, a website funnel, and then at the end it asks you for buying this whatever thing, which is fine. And eventually I kind of want to build some degree of that within this. But at the same time, I also don't want to you don't want to create that particular environment where it's really pushy and people don't like that kind of thing. So if you talk to any of the people that follow Dave Ramsey, they're stark raving fans. And that's really what you're trying to do, is build the stark raving fans before you get to the point where you're actually trying to market your writing, whatever it is, a blog, your book or academic article, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Before you actually get to that point, you want to have the stark raving fans that are just going to be eating up what you're saying, and then they're going to promote it from there. And that takes a long time. It takes a lot of effort. It's going to take you, you might as well start right now. If I was you, I would either jump online somehow. Twitter doesn't work. Facebook might work. Do things like YouTube, WordPress blogs, as well as maybe Pinterest or something like that, something, Snapchat, where you can start building a following. And that's going to take you, if you're a nobody, like I was, it's probably going to take you, and I still am, it's probably going to take you a year, 2 years, 3 years. By the time you reach about 5 years of doing this, you're going to have so much content out there that people are going to be like, this is crazy. Search engines are going to know that you're authority. And then at that point, you're going to have so much audience, it's going to be fairly easy to actually sell, maybe 1,000 copies of whatever it is you're doing. And it just takes time, and it takes being authentic and building that particular audience before you get there. And here's the crazy thing, is that you have very little outlay in terms of cost when you do this versus the sort of pushing it out method. This is much more sort of a pull content marketing kind of perspective. It does work. It takes a long time, stinking hard, but it does work, and you actually build an audience then. So that is what I would do. That's what I'd recommend people to do, is to build that fan base first, and to build those sort of people that are really raving about what you're doing before you actually go out and do anything. So again, if you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. Bye.